Welcome back to the Andrea Giovino Show, and today we're going to jump right back in with Laura and Toby on good guy, bad guy. What determines a good guy? What determines a bad guy? Let's go for it.
All right, well, look, I had to just pop my head in on the last podcast these two were doing. I caught the tail end of it, and I decided to jump into the mix on this one with them. Because,
We were man-bashing.
You know,
Oh, well, no, I don't really think.
Laura,
No, I don't think we-
Laura, I want to know how you find a good guy and how this all plays out when with the drink situation and, like, what determines to you whether a guy is good, bad, date-worthy, non-date-worthy?
Oh, my. Well, what makes him date-worthy? The conversation. I'm not going to say the financial part of it because that's not something that I'm so interested in. However, he has to drive a better car than me. He has to live in his own residence. He has to pay all his bills.
You would think as an adult he should have that,
Well,
Laura.
listen, there's some
Not
guys
all
out
of
there
them.
that are still living with their mother, believe it or not,
Oh,
at this
my
age.
God.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and I think it's just like it's really like the energy, the vibe that you feel with them. As far as like going out, listen, I grew up in the 80s, 90s. So and I grew up in an Italian neighborhood. I grew up in the Bronx. When we were just accustomed to that. If we went out, like I was saying, to a bar, restaurant, to a club, the guys, what can I get you? You go to a restaurant. They were at the bar buying us dinner.
Yeah, she's 100% right, because that's the same thing that I grew up with. I mean, she's 100% right.
And I am that way. So I'm a guy that picks up checks. I'm that way because, like my mother just said, that's what she grew up with.
That's how I raised all my sons are that way.
That's how we grew up, and that's
Right.
what we grew up around. But the reality of it is, and I've seen this over and over again, that's not what's out there today.
Correct.
So even though I'm that way because that's how I was brought up and
Yeah.
raised, that's not what you're running into
But
today.
let me ask you this question now, because this is how it was when I grew up. So if I was in a restaurant and it was, say, me and another friend, or me and two other women, say 4 or 2 women, and I didn't even know the men, like, say, street guys, or whatever, but I didn't know those guys, and they saw attractive women, the waitress would get the bill, and they'd say, no, the guy's over there.
Easy.
Paid the check. And I would go, oh, really? So now that makes you go over to talk to them, to say, oh, my God, thank you. Oh, yeah, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. Would you do that today?
Well, you're giving me ideas. That's not a bad idea.
See?
No,
But that's how.
So
right.
now what that accomplishes is that he's a gentleman. He saw something he liked, and he also wasn't cheap. He picked up a check.
All right, so I'm gonna.
So there's three pluses.
Let's get something straight, mommy dearest. I'm gonna correct you on something here. All right, let's get something straight. So, all right, so you just gave me a good idea on that one, but that's not the typical. I mean,
That's
from
not
a
typical.
lot of
That's
guys,
what she's
That's
saying.
what
you're not
today.
really seeing that.
She's saying exactly
You know,
that.
Right.
Tell,
I don't
right.
know if that's even really ever
And
crossed
when
my
I-
mind.
Go ahead, Laura.
And when
You're
I-
out there.
Right. And when I tell guys, like, and like, I don't say it because I'm trying to come off, because let me tell you, in no way, shape, or form am I like this snotty, arrogant chick at all. I'm a very humble human. But I'm just saying, like, if I'm having a conversation with a prospective gentleman and we're talking and I'm like, just, this is how it was. This is what I'm used to. Even to this day, some places that I have gone to that have that old school mentality, same thing. Like, I could walk in there and they're like, all right, this guy got it, that guy, like, that's it. And it's like,
Yeah, but
what it's
the
supposed to be.
generation we're in right now,
Right.
you, like you're saying, you could be standing at a bar on the Upper East Side, let's
Yeah.
say, okay, and a professional, let's go with a professional, okay. They go out after work, happy hour, whatever. He's not even buying you a drink.
and he's
That would
talking to you.
And he's talking to you,
And
now an hour passes.
And it's like, no.
An hour passes.
You're
and
taking too much of
and
my
he
time.
And he hasn't even offered you. And
No.
you know, he's dressed in an expensive suit, because women could tell. He's after work. He could be an attorney. He could be an accountant. He can be whatever.
So it's one of two things. It's either he's cheap
He's cheap.
or he's not thinking about it.
So then let me.
But you better be thinking about it if you're looking to date.
Right. So then, if I were talking to this gentleman and an hour goes by, and then
And an
I
hour
decide
goes by and he hasn't bought you a drink.
and I decide to blow him off because I think that he's cheap, am I wrong? From a man's perspective,
I would maybe
would I? Be wrong?
I would maybe order the drink
Okay.
and see if he gets you to drink.
Okay.
And if he doesn't,
Yeah.
then that tells you
Then
what
you
type
walk
of guy
away,
he
yeah.
is. And I'm not saying, oh,
Then you say,
oh,
"Excuse me, I
this
wanna go
is-
to the ladies' room."
This is
See ya.
this is the stigma of what a guy should be. Oh, he has to buy him. I don't think. Oh, now, maybe for you that's the case, but I don't think that should be the rule. Oh, he has to buy me a drink. But if he doesn't buy you a drink, I think it says something about his character at that point.
And he's no good.
I
He's no good.
I don't know.
All right, so let me ask you. Wait, first of all, I don't know. So just, are you single?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Okay, so you're out. Well, what do you do to meet a girl?
I'll tell you something funny. I'm
Please do.
going to tell you both something funny because I recently had a situation where I was out with some friends and there were these two women in this place, and I walked over to just pick up the drinks. So I had 100 in my hand. The bartender was getting ready to give them drinks, and I says, "No, I got it. Right? Hold on." That was how I just approached. I says, "No, I got it." And the bartender goes, "It's free. It's water."
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I love that. Oh my God.
I love it.
So then what you do? Did you then buy them
So then
another
it's just,
drink?
all right, so
Or
then
buy
you
them a
get-
real drink?
Yeah.
I think I never. I don't remember. I
so
was already a little.
funny.
I was already a little bit tipsy myself. I didn't know it was water.
I love it.
That was how that
Yeah, but no, there is. I guess for certain women aren't going to put that much emphasis and expectation into what the guy should do, whether you're self-employed and you have money or whatever. It's, to me, it's chivalry.
Yeah.
It's the word chivalry we need to go back to, where
Agreed.
you are taking up my time, buddy. Because you're taking up my time, you're showing an interest in me, then be the gentleman and pay for the drink. Or
Agreed.
say, I got the next round.
Agreed. I don't see a problem in that.
There shouldn't be a problem in that.
do
He's
you?
taking up your time.
No,
No, my sons are all very generous.
My mother already knows how I am.
No,
like,
they're very
in terms
generous.
of I
Yeah.
think the man should step in and
Yeah.
take the manly role in my opinion. But again, you talking to somebody, them not getting your drink right away, it could just be they're not thinking about that. Maybe they're more focused on talking to you. Maybe they should have probably asked you for the drink. That's why I say, hey, order a drink and then see what he does.
Yeah.
If he
You gotta
doesn't do
or-
anything,
if he
you ain't
doesn't-
going out with him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't buy the drink, you walk away
Yeah.
and say, I have to go.
Yeah.
find
And I
my
don't
girl."
think that should
Yeah.
really be a factor of whether or not, maybe for you it is, but I don't think that should be a factor. But I do think it does display a character trait of
Yeah.
someone.
Come on, from where we come from.
Oh,
and
it's
all-
definitely a character. Well, from where we come from, we come from a place. Again, though, I'm a guy, I pick up checks a lot of times when I go out with my friends. That's not really the norm. I mean,
Like they're always,
you know,
and I yell at him all the time because like, what do you always got to pick up the check? Like,
Yeah.
what are you always picking up the check? But that's the era also he was raised in,
Right.
where the men
Right,
pick up the
right,
checks.
right.
It's like if I am in a restaurant and say I run into somebody I grew up with, they're going to pick up my check.
but you're both referring to, no, it's not absolutely. You're both referring to street guys and mob guys right now when you say that. That is a
Probably.
street guy, mob guy thing where the mob guys go in and they pick up the checks when they see women they know. You're smiling. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, I
A
mean,
street
listen,
guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
now, I gonna say that I don't go out like that anymore. Like I'm not
Around those
I'm
kind of
not
guys.
in bars. I'm not
Right.
really. I don't go
A
out.
regular
like that.
working guy, though, a businessman, they're not picking up checks when they see their friends out. I mean,
Yeah.
in most cases, unless
No.
they're a
Yeah.
multimillionaire, regular working guys and businessmen, they see friends out, even if it's the ladies. They're not just walking up, picking up checks. I mean, you don't see that. That's just
Yeah.
not. Now, in New York and in certain sections, and when we get into the mob guy, street guy thing, you will then see it a whole lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just makes me sad because I feel like
No, I'm
we're in
sorry.
big trouble. No, like I feel like
Right.
we're in trouble. And I also feel that again, I feel that social media pushes a narrative of destroying the family. That
Oh, yeah.
family you know,
The family dynamic of what
They're
was
pushing
supposed to
away
be
from it.
old school. You take your vows, you get married, you have a wife, and you know that's all gone.
Agreed.
That's all gone.
So you asked me earlier, am I single? Yes, I'm single. What do I look for in a woman? I'm going to tell you what I look for in a woman. Okay, it's qualities as a person. First off, you got to be attracted to the person. That's number one. I feel like you need to be
Absolutely.
attractive. I feel like, you know, the religious and moral values need to be aligned. Okay, then the qualities of the person need to also be aligned. What type of person is this? What type of individual is this? What do they like? What type of movies do they like to watch? What type of food do they like to eat? Because are we going to hate two different types of music or movies, and you know, you like horror, I can't stand horror. You know, how's that really going to work as a dynamic in a relationship? You know, you want to, you're a vegan. You know, I like to eat red meat and sushi, and you know, you only eat vegetables. Like that, to me, that's a problem.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is because that happens a lot. Like people don't
Agreed.
put the time and effort into. Well, what do you like, or what do you? And there's no
Right,
compatibility
right.
there.
Right.
It's not. You can't even go by just attraction. A person might not be that attractive, but he might have all the same interests and the same era that you're from, and likes the same music, or likes to do the same things, or wants to go to the gym, or wants to go for a hike.
Yeah.
You know, there are people that don't want to do that. They want.
But I think that when you're also in a relationship with somebody, you have to respect the person's, you know, the things that they have about them. Like you can be with somebody that doesn't like the same things that you like, but you also have to be open. Like you said, like a vegan versus a meat eater. It's like, how hard are you a vegan and how hard are you a meat eater? Maybe
right.
we can
Compatible.
I believe
Right.
in
Compromise.
relationships, right. If you have like the basis and you have the love, I feel like you really can work through things. But I also think that people give up easy. People are like,
because they know somebody else is out
right.
there.
Now, when I got divorced, I divorced because the catalyst was my husband cheated on me. And he was trying. We went to therapy. We ran the gamut. But I feel like he just he wasn't sticking with the things that he was doing. I feel like he did what he had to do just to get us through that hump.
Oh, he just did it because he had to.
And then once we were comfortable again,
did it
then
again.
he fell off.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, really? And he wasn't a good communicator. Like, I felt like, listen, I feel like we're human. You make a mistake. I'm not gonna he didn't have like this blown out affair. He wasn't a dirtbag cheater. You know what I'm saying? He had good qualities. He was a good dad, great stepdad. But I just felt like, you need to talk to me. You need to say to me, Law, I hate when you do this, or I don't like that you're not, you know, doing this for me. Like, he wouldn't talk to me. So it was
So you're not a mind reader to know what's going on.
Well, this is right. So then when I got to the point where he was just continuously shutting down, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
I was like, I can't hit my 70s and turn around and be like, oh my God, what did I do? And I did not think in any way, shape, or form I was going to meet somebody that it was going to be better, the grass was greener. I knew that I was going to be single, and I was okay with that.
Okay, because you're happy as single.
I'm so good and content in my life, but you know, a lot of people just give up, and I
They
feel
give up
like
too
had he
easily.
not, right?
Well, some people stay too long. I stayed too long. And I regret that. I should have left a long time ago.
I'll give you the good ones. I think people pick people for the wrong reasons. So if it's just attraction, or if it's just money, or if it's just that immediate fixation of a relationship and you're not diving deeper into all of the things and qualities that you have in common,
Right.
that's where I think the problems eventually come into play. Because there's plenty of good-looking people out there. But if you take
That's
two
not
good-looking
everything.
people and you put them together, and they could have a fun time together as friends, but they're not romantically, spiritually, emotionally compatible, they could be two beautiful-looking people that are two good friends together.
The chemistry
but they're
has to be
not.
there.
They're not relationship made because
Chemistry and the emotional part. I think that for me, in meeting guys, I think that it's the emotional part. It's that men are not investing in that. It's like they get into a relationship and they just think like, okay, this is what it is. It's like, no, you like, if you're not in touch with yourself, and then it's also traumas, shit that you went through in your childhood. That shit, that screams as you're an adult. And if you're not addressing that and you're getting into relationships,
You're just going to bring your baggage into your
right,
next relationship.
and all
next
you're doing is going relationship, and it's always going to be the same thing because you're not addressing what you went through.
Right.
And I feel like that's a big thing too, that just men are not getting in touch with that.
I think it's very hard for men to go into therapy.
Yeah.
A therapist told me that. It's very hard for men to open up, but it would be better for them because then you're just taking your baggage from your old relationship into the new relationship, and it's going to be sabotaged.
And you keep just going
And you
through
just
the
keep
same
going,
thing.
going, and it's like going, but we're going to close out.
We could close out, but sometimes I don't agree with you.
All right,
so
but go ahead.
It's not always about the man having the problem going into therapy.
Okay.
Sometimes it's the woman.
Agreed.
Okay,
So
okay.
it all comes down to
Agreed.
the person. It
Yeah,
could be
that's
the man
true.
or it could be the woman in that
Agreed.
That's
particular
true.
situation.
That's true. I should have said
Self-awareness for
That's
both
right.
parties.
And I don't agree with going into the next relationship without finding out and doing a soul searching of what actually went wrong in this relationship. And even if that partner wasn't good, I always say, well, what could I have done
Agreed. Same.
better?
Here's
Same.
generally what went wrong.
Same.
Even though you're ready to close out, here's generally what went wrong, and you both could correct me right now if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
Here's generally what went wrong. Pick people in general. Pick the partner for all of the wrong reasons. In both of your cases, the flashy mob guy that picks up the check, that knows how to sweet talk a woman, the narcissistic personality, knows how to overcome the younger Andrea and the younger Laura and seduce you into the relationship. If I'm wrong, please stop me right now. If I'm right, let me know.
Well,
I'm
I
right.
do like that. I like, and I've had this with every one of my relationships, I like to be love bombed, I guess, because I like all that attention. The money, the restaurants, tell me food, I'm going. The gifts, the flowers. Yes, I like all that. Who wouldn't like it?
Right, but why do you like? My thing is, like, when you're getting into this, how do you know it's love bombing versus just somebody doing what he's supposed to do?
Well, now I
Quality-
would take my time and know.
Here's how. Qualities of a person.
Right.
What type of individual is this? Because generally the narcissistic mob guy type personality, because that's what we're talking
Yeah.
about. Those are some of the relationships you both come from. That's the typical pattern. It starts that way,
Yeah.
where you get the love bomb,
Yeah.
you get the gifts, you
Gifts.
get the checks picked up, but then correct me
It
if I'm wrong,
stops.
it stops.
Yeah, it stops.
And now you're not getting that same level
And
of
there's no
love,
attention.
love and attention and
Right.
affection.
Yeah.
And that person that seemed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread
He's the
all of a
worst.
sudden is a completely different person after a certain period of time.
He's
goes
an
by.
imposter.
So then what does
He's
a normal man do?
I gotta say it because someone told me this, and I don't want to put her out there, but she said he was an imposter, and I loved it.
But it's the truth. The mask comes off, right? They
Yes.
say that, But how do you know then? What does a
I
normal
just told you.
guy?
You're
What
not
does
listening.
a normal guy look like?
I just told you what a normal guy looks like. It's not what he looks like. It's what
Well,
he's.
no.
It's characteristics. For me, he should have a good relationship with his ex-wife and his kids.
Agreed.
That's a red.
Hopefully he's not divorced.
If he's not divorced
I
at
don't
50
want him.
or 60, who wants him? What? If
Well,
he's-
we don't want him if he's not divorced.
He's got to
right?
be divorced. Then he really is a player. Then he went with too many women,
Hey.
like Ahmad.
Oh no! The producer just walked in. We might have to close out this podcast.
the bachelor of the city.
Take women's pictures.
Let's close out while we're safe.
On a high note.
Thank you. Tune in next time. Press the subscribe button.
that button. Hit that
Thank
button.
you. Now I just got a notice. There was. Did you see?